Please don't look at me. Please just look at the pretty paper. Just look at the pretty paper. It is July in London, Ontario. I'm a sweaty mess of a bag, and I am not here to be admired for my good looks, such as they are. I'm here to show you what I did for Freebie Friday. This is a mini envelope journal that is meant to get you thinking about yourself as enough. It is up in the community right now, and this is a tutorial video where you can see how I added it to my already existing junk journal, which I am making with ink and page. I made the little mini journal and I was like, oh, this would just fit perfectly in here. So I did that. I don't know who I am anymore, but apparently I am someone who has lace now that she can put in her journal. So that is the thing that is happening these days. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about my intention for this because, as you know or not, maybe you don't. Hi, I'm Effy. I'm an art witch. There is nothing I do in my studio or in my craft room or in my at my painting table that does not have some kind of a magical application. So in this case, you got a metric button of little tags that you can cut out. There's like a ton of them, and all of them have something to say about enoughness. Like this one says, you are enough exactly as you are. But I wanted to address the fact that some of us who are neurospicy, we find affirmations very difficult because if I sit here and say to myself, I am enough, there is another part of me that says, you are a liar, you're lying. So affirmations can be very problematic for some people, myself included. So I wanted to teach you a little trick that I use to get around that. And one of the things that I do is if I'm working with affirmations, I will add the words, today we are pretending that. So today we are pretending that I have always been enough. Today we are pretending that enough is magic. Today we are pretending that enough is a complete sentence. Today we are pretending that I am enough exactly as I am. That little addition of that sentence, I am pretending, today I am pretending, is enough to shut that part of the brain up that wants to go, that's a lie. Another thing that works really, really well for me that I didn't mention during the tutorial part of this video is sometimes I will say I am in the dream end. So I am in the dream end. I am enough. I am in the dream end. I know that I am enough. I am in the dream end. Enough is a complete sentence, etc. Pardon me, my cat. Hi. She's rubbing all up against me and up against the laptop, and that's why I look so manic right now. I'm just trying to prevent her from doing this to you because nobody wants to watch that. And that is exactly what she wants to do. So yeah, I am in the dream, or today we are pretending works like chef's kiss. So this kit is available in the Into the Wild community. It's also up over on Patreon. It's just the envelope, guys, and then everything that goes into the envelope. So we have the postcard that went on the front of the envelope. We have the envelope itself that you can print out and create. We have a little coloring page because in my community, we believe that coloring is magic. So that we have some grid dot paper that we can use for journaling paper. And there are some fussy cuts that I included in the kit as well, but I don't really do a whole lot of fussy cuts. So you won't see them here, but they're in the kit. So if you head on over to Into the Wild, which is learn.effywild.com, you'll find a link to get into my community. It's completely free. And I release a new freebie every single Friday. So come on over and see me. Sybil and I and my baby hairs say hello. And I hope you have a fabulous weekend. And I will see you in all of our places. And I love you. Bye. You guys, it is Freebie Friday. So I made us a mini envelope journal kit to fill and play with and use. I have printed this lovely dot grid paper on the back of every page just so that there's stuff on the back of the stuff. This cover photo that acts just as, you know, it's the cover of the kit can be used in your journal if you like. But I'm going to put that aside for now and just go over what's in the pack. So the first thing is an envelope. And then you have some journaling cards. One is a coloring book version. So you can color that on your own if you've got some time and you want to sit and do some lovely coloring. And then this is a postcard and this is a postcard. They're not officially postcard sized. They're very much in the realm of the ish. This is like 3 3/4 by I think 5 and almost 6. 3 3/4. Yeah, by 5 and like almost 6. It's just meant to fit in here. So it's just a smidgen smaller than this, both height-wise and uh, width-wise. So, and it's just lovely little things to cut out and play with. Some just scrapbooking paper in the same style. So if you want to do a pocket or some homemade tags or whatever you want to do. And then what did not get printed, maybe it did. Nope. What did not get printed was the collection of little stickers that I made for you as well. So those will be in your pack. They're just, honestly, sticker style fussy cuts. You don't need to look at them right now. They're just fun little sticker style fussy cuts for you to add to your kit. So we're going to start with the envelope. And I'm just going to use my paper cutter for this just to make my life that much easier. And we'll just cut this and put it together. So you know the drill. You cut, you ink, and then we're going to stuff the envelope with this cutie patootie, the cutie patootie sweet elements that I've included. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm having the time of my life with all of this paper crafting stuff. It makes me ridiculously happy to have something so satisfying to do, and it is satisfying, and it's kind of low impact satisfying. You guys, don't look at my nails. I've been painting all day. I just finished this, so my nails are filthy. I am not the paper crafter to look at if you want pretty manicured nails. It's just never going to happen. It's just not my thing, man. It's just not my thing. So don't look at my nails. So we're going to put the envelope together first, and then it's a stuffed envelope, right? So you've got tons of little things that you can add to it, and then you can also paper craft to your heart's delight, by which I mean add whatever you want to. You could collage on this. You could find your own focal images and add it to the front. My intention is to add the postcard, the color postcard, to the front. And I might print off a second copy so that I have a second copy to put inside the envelope. Now, if you wanted to glue this to the inside of a journal, that could work as well, but don't glue something here, because this is where you would glue it. Unless you're doing some kind of tip in with it, which I could see doing as well. But again, as you know, if you watched my last video, I'm moving all of my really bulky junk journaling out of my Sweet Trash journal because it was starting to interfere with my desire to actually journal, and that's no bueno, because that is my like primary #1 spiritual and mental health practice. I need that to be as it is. I'm just gonna trim. This is looking a little rough over here because my paper cutter has been doing a lot of work, and the blade is quite dull. It's time to get a new blade. So what you're going to do now is you're going to score the shadow lines that I've put in here for you. Oh, that's not great. try and actually score the shadow lines. Try not to go off track here. My eyes, you guys, it's just, it's insane. My eyes are so bad. I cannot tell where things are and what is straight and what's not. And unfortunately, this doesn't let me use this up here to tell me where I am. So I kind of have to eyeball it and hope for the best. And that doesn't always work out. There we go. Good, good, good. One more, this one. See? I'm out of the track there. There, now I'm in the track. So that, like that. And then this will go like this. So those get tucked inside. And then this gets glued. I think, yeah, this gets glued like this on either side. And then you've got your opening here. So you can see why this is not, unless you're doing it as a tip in, don't put anything on the front because you want your opening here, right? So you want your opening to be here, and then we'll decorate the front. So on the front, we're gonna put this guy here. So let me pull out my paper cutter again. Of course, you can just tear this if you like a torn edge. Your girl does love a torn edge, but lately I've been, for the sake of speed, I have been going to town with the paper cutter because it just makes my life so much easier. I kind of want to like get in and out when I'm demoing stuff like this because I've got a whole bunch of other stuff that has to get done as well. So just, I might as well cut both postcards out. This is just a lovely little journaling card that you can include in there. So if you need to write yourself a little love letter about just how enough you are, so enough. You're so enough. You're all the enoughness. You're the enoughest of the enough. I just love the term enough. It does something to my nervous system when I hear the words "you are enough" versus, you know, "you're amazing, you're great," and then I'm like, oh my God, no pressure. So I'm just gonna cut this down now and have that in there so that when I have a quiet moment, I can pull out my color pencils and do a little coloring, because why not? We practice coloring as an effort, as offering form of raising energy in moonshine, which is my art as witchcraft program. So coloring is a valid form of witchcraft in my world. So these are really cute. This one is going to go on the front. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to edge this. And I learned a trick from Debbie where if you turn it upside down and you look at where you're actually putting the corner, you'll have much more success with corner rounders, which is just, why didn't I think of that, right? I'm very autistic and literal. I was looking at it on this side and I thought it was supposed to be used like that because that's where the label is. So, but now I know better. Now I know better. Now, if you wanted to, you could, make sure I know where the bottom is. That's the bottom. If you wanted to, you could leave this flap open up here and use that as a pocket as well. And I think I might actually do that. So first things first here, let me get my envelope inked up. And then we'll ink up the, where's Where's my ink pad? There it is. And then we'll ink the little postcard. So I want these edges inked because some of this will show as well. I am obsessed with crows. Crows are a huge deal for me. I love them fiercely. I wish I had a tamed crow. One I shared my life with, not one as a pet, because you know they're not pet material. They are definitely their own creatures. But I love crows so much. So crows, keys, witchcraft elements of all kinds show up in my junk journaling fodder, the materials that I make a lot because it's an obsession. Okay. Really do up these bits as well. And I'm going to grunge up around the envelope like this. And let's put this baby together. I'm using this craft glue that I've put into a needle tip bottle. This is Barely Art Precision craft glue. It also comes with a fine tip, but it clogs very easily. And these haven't clogged on me once, not once. So they're just amazing and awesome. This isn't perfect, and that's great because it's a handmade envelope. So I'm not worried about perfection at all. That's not what I'm looking for. So I'm going to go ahead now and ink my little postcard that goes on the front here. And then on the back, I just need to go around really grunge that up. Now I love this because it's in, that's not even going to show. I'll do that again on the one that I actually intend to put inside my envelope. I'm just going to use glue stick for this, might as well. So I didn't need to ink the back there at all. I'm going to grab myself a gel pen. I just want to go around the edge of the postcard. Now, if you are working in a journal and you wanted to use this in your journal, what you could do is you could use this as your flap. So you would just glue down this part so that it opens this way in your journal. Like so. Here, I'll grab my junk journal that I'm working on currently with Deb from Ink and Page, if I can find it. Where did it go? Where have I put it? Wild. It's time to clean the studio. I can't find anything in here. It's just a disaster. This would actually be like a perfect place for it. Right here like that. You know, I'm going to do that. Why not? I'm going to do that. I'm just going to put it right into this journal. Why wouldn't I, right? So I'm going to use a glue stick for that. I might as well. And then I think I'm going to put a little bit of lace on that. I've seen whole journals built this way, and it's super cool. It's such a cool way to make a journal. I'm going to open this like this so that I have a good sense of where the seam is there. That was not the smartest idea. I need to pull this in here like that. There, so that I have a spot to glue my next page to. So my next page, I can do a hinge here for my next page. Because otherwise, where would that go, right? Where would that page go? So this now flips open like that. I don't know who I am anymore, but I have lace. So I think I'm going to go with this. I just don't even know what to tell you anymore. I am apparently that girl these days. So when this is open like this, I'm going to put the lace along here like that, and I want some to stick out up on the top. I'm going to use matte medium. I know that seems really strange, but I have it in the studio. It's here. It's a supply that I already own. I don't have fabric glue or anything like that. That's just not usually, you know, that's not a thing that I would normally use. So I'm going to use this, but this is such a thin little piece of lace that I feel like it's going to work just fine. Now the fact that it's matte is really nice, because it'll dry the same finish as everything else. So we'll slide that on there, and then we'll sandwich this. A bit more on there. And then I'm going to put matte medium all over so that this all has the same finish. This has picked up some of the archival ink by Ranger on it, and that's what you're seeing smearing and staining, and that's totally fine. It just adds to the very sort of grungy loveliness. This paper is upside down. I'm just noticing that paper's upside down. It doesn't matter. There's going to be stuff that goes on there anyway. So this will stay workable, meaning that you can move it for a little while. And then once it's dry, it's going to stay put. Now you can take a heat gun to this, but be careful if your lace is synthetic, and mine is indeed synthetic lace. If you buy cotton lace, you shouldn't have to worry about that, but because this is a synthetic, it's probably like rayon or polyester, that your heat gun could melt it. Now, I don't have a heat gun currently. Every heat gun I buy kills my electric. It sends the breaker off on its own adventure. So I just use a hairdryer on the low setting. So there's no real risk of this melting on me. So I'm just going to get that dry. And then I'm going to set that aside to dry. And the rest of the experience is just sitting down with your favorite documentary, or, you know, watch your soaps, or let Emily D. Baker do court casting and fussy cut so that you can put your little things into your envelope. So please feel free to add whatever ephemera, whatever you've got lying around into this little project. Don't feel like you have to stick with these 6 pages. That's the beauty of these kinds of projects, is that they are meant to expand your horizons a little bit and get you thinking about what you can do with the scraps that are already on your table or in the basket beside you. I always have masses of stuff sitting here on the desk that could be thrown into something like this. And then if I could just offer just a little bit of art witchery with your crafting today, please read each of the messages on the tags as you're cutting them out, and read them over and over again. By which I mean, as you're cutting, you have always been enough. You have always been enough as you're cutting. You are enough magic. You are enough magic as you're cutting. And if you really want to make it extra special, super powered, then change the U to an I. I know that's hard for some of us. If you're an especially neurospicy person and your response to affirmations is, well, now I'm just lying, I want you to try adding the word, today I'm pretending that I am enough. Today I'm pretending that my presence is enough. That seems to shut the inner critic that goes, well, that's a lie, right up. It's like, oh, we're pretending. We're playing now. And you're saying it in the spirit of play. And that can help your neurodivergent or traumatized mind get out of your own way when you're trying to rewire your circuitry. Because it's science, and they are learning more and more that your brain believes everything you tell it. So if your brain is telling you that you're not enough, or that you're useless, or that you'll always, it'll always be this way, or it will never get better, if that's what your brain is saying to you, then your brain is going to believe that. So it is very important to stop that in its tracks and start saying something else. So if you catch yourself talking to yourself that way, I want you to catch yourself. I want you to stop. And I want you to say the exact opposite of what you've been saying. And again, if you feel like that's a big fat lie, it'll go a long way if you just say, well, today we're pretending, and insert nice thing about yourself. Today we're pretending that we are a wonderful human being deserving of all good things. It also helps me, and this may just be a me thing, but my dogs get spoken to as though they are the most precious creatures on the planet, because they are, and I will not be taking any questions about that. If I talk to myself as though I am one of my dogs, like, oh, you darling girl, look at you go, which is how I talk to my dogs, I find it much easier to be kind to myself. Don't judge me. I'm a very traumatized person. So there you go. A couple of tips and tricks for tricking your brain to receive the affirmations instead of reject them outright as lies. How to talk to yourself in a kind way, even if that's very, very difficult for you. And then this lovely little paper project that will get you, if you do it the way I'm asking you to, saying some lovely things to yourself, like enough is a complete sentence. So when I start to get on myself about something, I can just say, that's enough of that, and then move on. If someone is expecting more of me than I feel is correct for me to provide, given my boundaries, I can just say, you know what, that's enough. That's enough of that. So we have a little tag that will fit in our envelope. We have a coloring page that will fit in our little envelope. We have a journaling card that will fit in our envelope. We have a bunch of little tags and tickets that will fit into our loaded envelope. We have a pocket that we created today just by gluing this in. And there you go, Freebie Friday, July 10th, 2026. I hope you enjoyed that. Lots of love, you guys, and I will see you in all of our places. Bye!